I don't think anybody's expecting it to do well, if I'm being totally
Who's
honest with you.
asking for an extraction shooter?
Yeah, nobody is. Well, let's talk about people who have probably been high on their own supply, and that is the folks developing Marathon. As a matter of fact, they've been getting high on other people's supply, as it's been one of the biggest controversies in gaming in a little bit. It's been interesting to watch, and it all came down late last week, and it culminated with a stream Friday after our show, and the memes coming out of that were spectacular. Uh, it it's unbelievable. So just as a quick recap, Bungie was facing some backlash after this artist Anti-Real over here on X outed them for saying like, look, here's my artwork and here is their artwork here. And that quickly caught a lot of momentum. And ultimately, they ended up responding to it being like, whoa, okay, this is kind of crazy. We saw Dual Shockers come in and actually use a fake quote for them. And it was also talked about how this is not the first time that 505 has done this. They've done this on multiple games where they've used someone else's art. And then the dev team came in and they had a statement about this. But the unfortunate timing for them, Flash, was in the afternoon. They were going to do a stream about the game, and that stream, they did do it, but they did not include the things that they initially wanted to, because the stream itself was going to use assets that were currently stolen by this Anti-Real artist. So they went in and they had a statement that was 3 minutes long, a prepared statement, as Marathon's art director talked about the stolen artwork in the game. So I wanted to play that for you. It's 3 minutes long, but I think it's important for us to hear the entire thing. So here is the statement from the art director on the right.
It came to our attention that an artist who worked on Marathon took elements from a graphic designer without permission or acknowledgement and placed them on a decal sheet that was then checked in 2020. The decal sheet included icons and text elements. These elements ended up in our alpha build, and there's absolutely no excuse for this oversight. And we are working on and 100% committed to our review process to ensure instances like this don't happen again on Marathon or at Bungie. A few of the things that we've done over the last 24 hours and what we're doing to shore up the review process are as follows. We've reached out to Anti-Real, the artist in question, and followed up to ensure that we do right by this artist. We're auditing all of the previous work by the artist, the internal artist, including the environment decals already in the build, which is part of why we're delaying some of the content we're going to show today. And we're committed to removing anything that is questionably or inappropriately sourced. We're doing a very broad decal audit, and if we locate any other details or elements, we'll make sure that those are eliminated, recreated in-house for sure. Hundreds of artists have worked on this project for years, internally and externally, and we share many influences, including modernism, Swiss typography, 2000s style vector art, cyberpunk, and of course the original Marathon trilogy. Our style is a result of all of those inspirations. And it's also worth noting that none of our external partners who've worked on branding or any part of the visual design of our game were involved with this situation. And lastly, personally, I have a huge amount of respect and admiration for artists working independently and producing, making a living, doing commercial or fine art. And we've worked with many of them. It's one of my favorite parts of the job is to make those connections and create content and collaborate. And so to that extent, I want to send my personal apology to Anti-Real, whose work was used in this case. And I know how unfair this feels, and we're doing everything we can to make this right with her. Her work is fantastic, and
It's so fantastic they used it.
clearly share mutual appreciation for a specific genre of graphic design, and it's very exciting, and I'm excited to have folded that into our style in general. So thanks for listening, and thanks for your patience.
So yeah, so absolutely, and thank you, Joe, for coming in and chatting with us about that. Yeah, if you have any further questions about that, feel free to ask them as we go along.
And they did. The chat went nuts the entire time. This was kind of the meme out of it, where the chat was talking about how plagiarism, 6,000 people tuning in and just roasting these folks over here. And we saw all these memes. You know, we used it in our thumb today, but this is the guy's face that was pretty much there the entire time.
Darkness, my old friend.
Yes. Why would you do that? Why would you go forward with that live stream? I
don't know. It didn't make any sense for them to continue that at all. Be like, look, in light of what happened, we just want to let you know we're sorry. We're going to readdress this. The game clearly isn't in the best state to talk about right now, given what we just learned. We're sorry about this. We're going to make this right. So I guess the big question is, this artwork from Anti-Real, has been around for many, many years. Lifted. Now, the art director pushes blame onto somebody who's not there anymore. It's just a mysterious, anonymous person who doesn't work there anymore, right? It's like, it wasn't us. It was somebody else, which, sparks some suspicions, especially if you're not going to. I mean, I don't think they're going to be naming names because they don't want anybody to get dogpiled if that is the case. But it doesn't look good. And it just seems like they're shifting blame instead of being like, look, it was my responsibility. I was the art director. I didn't do a good enough job. And because of this, it's going to cost us millions of dollars to correct, right? So I fucked up. How much do you think they use the term like, we're going to make this right. We're going to make this right. We're going to make this right. What is making it right for Anti-Real? Is it $500,000? Is it like, how much money do you think they like? Let's say they do make this right and they do keep those assets in the game. How much money do you think she should be paid? Blabs, I'll start with you on that.
I don't know if I can answer this, because I feel like it would have to be in consideration how much time it took for this woman to make all the assets and everything, and then pay her a rate from that, and then whatever else would be part of a normal contract. I feel like I can't answer this without giving all the information behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, they're going to have to go to a lawyer. And I saw that. So the account was like, I don't have the money for a lawsuit. Well, I promise you, multiple lawyers have contacted this person and said, look, we'll take care of payment after we win. Yeah. Which is now a lock because they've admitted to it on that live stream of stealing it. So, and the account on Twitter admitted they stole it. So, honestly, that artist is in a great position to go to court and stop this game from launching, because you would need to do something like, if they put this game out and don't settle this lawsuit, it's going to be even worse. So, I would highly recommend to that person to go and push a lawsuit, because you're going to win. And you kind of hold all the cards. Like, you could stop that game from being released until you get that bag. And they should get that bag. And Bungie has a history of this shit. This is like the 5th fucking time they've done this.
It's been amazing to see kind of the clusterfuck and the entire the entire reception to the stream was just a mess. Just a mess. And anybody who's watching was like, are they like, they're clearly not even close to prepared for this. They 100% should have just taken a step back and just been like, yeah, sorry, not going to happen. Not like Destin over on X saying this marathon stream is a disaster from almost every perspective. Bungie, you should just call it today. I get you're taking it on the chin, but the bad production on top of the controversy is just oof. They had microphone issues. They had all sorts of tech issues as well. Tom Henderson over at Insider Gaming says Bungie should take Marathon back to the drawing board, quite literally. And this person says, "Why draw when you can press Control C and Control V?"
Oh, that's gold.
That's good stuff. So I asked Grok how much anti-real should make from this if they were to pay anti-real, and it gives a long explanation. So the AI machine has certainly walked through this, talks about understanding the content of infringement, factors on determining compensation, and those licensing and flat fees and such. So let's play the Price is Right game here. How much do you think that Grok thinks that anti-real should be paid for this?
200,000.
Okay. Labs?
$1 million?
$1 million. Close without going over would be Yellow Flash. Bungie should pay between $100,000 and $150,000 as a lump sum for the unauthorized use of the artwork in Marathon, with an ideal range of $155,000 to $245,000 if additional damages and deterrents are factored in. This amount accounts for licensing fees, lost opportunities, emotional harm, and Bungie's history of similar incidents. Additionally, Bungie should offer proper credit and small royalty to ensure long-term fairness. So there you go. There you go right there. But because of all this stuff, it has been reported that everybody working on Bungie it's dire straits over at their company. People are not happy at all. The morale is extremely low, and as it should be. There's a lot of questioning about this game. They've been working on it for a long time, and art theft and controversies around it. But don't you dare, Flash, go to the Marathon Discord and start mentioning the real artist or the stolen work, because you will be banned here.
Oh, that's new. I didn't know that.
Yes,
Look at
they are
that.
That's so scummy.
banning people who mention the real artist on the official Marathon Discord, which, yes, now they're silencing speak about this. So there we go. It was a public execution in real time that happened. I mean, think about this. That game has been working on it for half a decade, 5 years, maybe longer, right? And it went up in flames over the course of 24 hours. Now, obviously, people weren't like, I always thought the art was pretty ugly, if I'm being totally honest with you. But
Yeah.
some people really liked it. You know, for me, it was like the color scheme. Pretty much from the first time I saw it.
Yeah, very
like,
bland.
Yeah. But yeah, this could very much be Concord 2.0 for sure.
Yeah, the alpha didn't get any hype even, really. I remember when that dropped, like, nobody was talking about it.
Rough stuff.
I wonder how much money they've sunk into that game.
Man, I mean, it's definitely hundreds of millions of dollars at this point. You don't develop a game for 5 years and not get into, $100 million of budget, right? Like, clearly, I don't know. Like, and the thing is, there's nothing that screams like this is super original. When I look at it, it actually screams the opposite. It screams bland and boring.
I'm saying it's very bland.
Yeah. But apparently they had. This is also a report. It says Bungie has reportedly scrapped its original June marketing plans for Marathon, which included a new trailer and pre-orders. The opening beta in August may shift to a roadmap of public playtest instead. So they are in the process of reworking everything over at Bungie because Marathon is in a rough shape. Is this game dead on arrival, Flash?
It's tough to say, but I think it will be, yeah, because nobody's really talking about it. Other than controversy.
Right.
I don't know if it's dead on arrival. I just don't think it's going to do very well, or as expected. We'll see.
I don't think anybody's expecting it to do well. If I'm being totally
He's
honest,
asking for an extraction shooter.
Yeah, nobody is.